You set your alarm for 5 a.m. with big plans, then hit snooze and wake up at 8 a.m. feeling guilty. You have heard that successful people wake up early. You have tried it before, but you always fall back into old habits and tell yourself you are not a morning person. You are told that the first hour of the day has the power to change your entire life. This is the story of a man who had nothing until 5 a.m. became his turning point. There is a small industrial town where factories run day and night. A 32-year-old man named Thomas lives there and works as a night security guard at a textile warehouse. Every evening at 8 p.m., Thomas arrives at work. Every morning at 6 a.m., he leaves, exhausted, and goes home to sleep. He lives in a tiny one-room apartment with a broken fan, a mattress on the floor, and a single flickering light bulb. His clothes are worn and his shoes have holes. More than being poor, Thomas feels trapped. Every morning, while walking home, he looks through windows and sees families eating breakfast, children preparing for school, and men heading to office jobs. He wonders if his life will always be this way, walking home while everyone else is waking up to their dreams. Thomas tries to change. He applies for better jobs, but with only a high school education, every door closes. He wants to learn new skills, but after working all night, he is too tired to do anything except sleep. His mother calls him every week from the countryside, asking when his life will get better. She says she wants to see him succeed before she dies. Thomas tells her soon, but deep down, he does not know how. The truth is, Thomas is not lazy. He works hard every night, but hard work alone is not changing his life. He feels like he is living backwards, sleeping during the day, while the world moves forward without him. One cold Tuesday morning in November, his sister calls and tells him their mother collapsed and is in the hospital. Thomas rushes home on a long bus ride, filled with fear. At the rural clinic, his mother lies weak in bed. The doctor says she collapsed from exhaustion and stress and needs rest, better food, and medicine they cannot afford. His mother holds his hand and asks him not to waste his life and to promise he will find a way. Thomas sits beside her bed, staring at her worn hands, realizing they both worked hard but went nowhere. Something inside him snaps, not sadness, but anger at his own helplessness. He steps outside the clinic into the quiet pre-dawn air. It is 5 a.m. The village is still asleep, but farmers are already walking to their fields. Standing there in the early morning, Thomas decides he will no longer live this way. On the bus back to town, Thomas notices a calm, well-dressed man reading a book. It is Mr. Chun, a successful businessman. Thomas is surprised to see a successful man traveling on a bus so early in the morning. He asks why Mr. Chun wakes up so early. Mr. Chun explains he wakes before dawn to read, think, and plan before the world wakes up. Mr. Chun learns Thomas works nights and sleeps during the day. He points out that Thomas is awake when the world sleeps and asleep when the world works. Mr. Chun explains that the hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. are powerful, because that is when you can build your future. Thomas wonders how this is possible when he works all night. Mr. Chun tells him to change his sleep schedule and eventually commit to waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Mr. Chun gives Thomas his number and tells him to call if he is serious, warning that it takes discipline most people do not have. Thomas looks at the card and promises himself he will start the next day. Thomas meets Mr. Chun at a cafe during the day for the first time in years. Mr. Chun explains that Thomas is only surviving and never building the foundation of his life. He explains that 2 focused morning hours every day add up to hundreds of hours a year. Mr. Chun lays out the routine. 1 hour to build skills. 1 hour to build body and mind. He gives 3 rules. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Sleep by 9 p.m. and push through the first painful weeks. Mr. Chun gives Thomas 90 days to prove himself. The next morning, Thomas's alarm goes off at 5 a.m. His body resists, but he forces himself to get up. The first week is painful and exhausting. Every morning at 5 a.m., he watches Excel tutorials and studies accounting. At 6 a.m., he walks for 30 minutes, then reads and plans. Around day 20, Thomas wakes up before his alarm and realizes his body has adjusted. The lessons start making sense. He earns his first certificate. By the end of the second month, Thomas has completed multiple courses, lost weight, and feels more confident. In the third month, he applies his skills at work by creating a system to organize inventory. His supervisor is impressed, and word spreads. On day 87, Thomas is offered a new job in accounting, working days and earning double his salary. Thomas accepts, stunned by how much changed in 3 months. He calls Mr. Chun and tells him he never missed a single 5 a.m. morning. Mr. Chun tells him to never stop. Because waking up early is no longer a tactic, it is who he is. 1 year later, Thomas is the lead accountant, has moved his mother closer, and lives in a decent home. He still wakes up at 5 a.m. every day, not because he has to, but because those hours belong to him. Thomas says success is not a destination, it is a daily practice that begins every morning. This story proves that change does not happen someday. It starts tomorrow morning. Between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., the world is quiet, your mind is clear, and your discipline is strongest. You are challenged to set your alarm for 5 a.m. Choose one thing to build for 90 days and protect your sleep. The question is simple. Will you wake up tomorrow, or will you hit snooze and wonder years later why nothing changed? Your future self is waiting on the other side of that alarm clock.